As November approaches, the Atlantic hurricane season delivers a late, powerful reminder. Hurricane Melissa. Born from warm Caribbean waters, Melissa grew from a cluster of thunderstorms into a dangerous Category 2 hurricane, with winds reaching 100 miles per hour. Its low central pressure signals its strength, demanding respect and close monitoring. Forecasters expect a brief intensification, possibly nearing Category 3, before cooler waters and wind shear weaken the storm. Melissa's current path steers it northeast, away from the Caribbean islands and into the open Atlantic. Soon it will encounter colder North Atlantic waters, setting the stage for a dramatic transformation and a new chapter in its journey. Before heading out to sea, Hurricane Melissa left devastation in Jamaica and Haiti. Jamaica endured flooding, landslides, and severe damage to infrastructure and crops. Haiti suffered even more, with 100 mph winds flattening homes, storm surge flooding coastal towns, and thousands displaced. Communication breakdowns and blocked roads have made relief efforts challenging, as access to essentials is cut off. International aid is mobilizing, but recovery will be long and difficult for both nations. Melissa's impact is a stark reminder of the region's vulnerability and the urgent need for better disaster preparedness. Now, Hurricane Melissa sets its sights on Bermuda, tracking northeast across the Atlantic. While a direct hit is unlikely, Bermuda braces for strong winds, heavy rain, and dangerous surf. The island's hurricane readiness is being tested, with property secured and emergency plans in motion. Even as Melissa weakens, gale-force winds and large swells threaten coastal infrastructure and safety. The storm's effects will be felt before its core arrives, with hazardous seas and flooding risks. Bermuda's robust building codes and experience offer some protection, but disruption is inevitable. After Bermuda, Melissa will transform in the North Atlantic, destined to influence Europe's weather. As Melissa moves into colder North Atlantic waters, it will lose its tropical characteristics. This process, known as extratropical transition, is common for storms that move out of the tropics and into higher latitudes. The warm core of the storm, which is fueled by the heat and moisture from the ocean, begins to cool down. The symmetrical structure of the hurricane starts to break apart, and the storm begins to take on a more frontal structure, similar to the low-pressure systems we see in the mid-latitudes, and become a sprawling post-tropical cyclone. This transformation doesn't mean the storm is any less dangerous. In fact, post-tropical cyclones can cover a much larger area than their tropical counterparts, bringing strong winds and heavy rains over a wider region. The storm's energy source shifts from warm ocean waters to atmospheric temperature contrasts, which can sometimes make these storms even more unpredictable. The interaction between the cold and warm air masses can lead to the development of intense weather phenomena, such as strong winds, heavy rainfall, and even thunderstorms, expanding its wind field but reducing peak intensity. This means that while the maximum sustained winds may decrease, the overall area affected by strong winds can increase significantly. Coastal areas and inland regions alike need to be prepared for the potential impacts. By early next week, Melissa will merge with a larger low-pressure system near the UK and Ireland. This merger will create a complex and potent weather system, capable of bringing a variety of weather conditions to the region. Though no longer a hurricane, Melissa will still carry tropical moisture and strong winds over a vast area. The remnants of the storm will interact with the existing weather patterns, potentially leading to prolonged periods of rain and gusty winds. This merger will create a potent weather system, one that meteorologists will be closely monitoring. The combination of tropical moisture and the dynamics of the mid-latitude atmosphere can lead to significant weather events, primed to bring unsettled, wet and windy conditions to the British Isles. Residents should be prepared for potential disruptions, including localized flooding, power outages, and travel delays. The tropical air mass will set the stage for an unusually mild and stormy start to November in the UK. This period of unsettled weather could last for several days, with varying intensities of rain and wind. Melissa's transformation marks the end of its hurricane life, but not its impact. The storm's legacy will be felt long after it has lost its tropical characteristics, as it continues to influence weather patterns and bring challenging conditions to those in its path. The UK will soon feel the effects of Melissa, now part of a powerful Atlantic low-pressure system. A surge of subtropical air will bring unseasonably mild temperatures and strong southwesterly winds. Heavy, persistent rain is forecast, especially in western regions, raising the risk of localized flooding. Gusty winds and coastal gales may disrupt travel and create rough seas. This marks a dramatic shift from recent calm, ushering in a new, dynamic weather pattern for early November. The Atlantic onslaught is not a one-off event, but the beginning of a wetter, windier regime. The UK braces for a blustery, unsettled start to the month, driven by the remnants of a distant hurricane. As we move into the first week of November, the UK finds itself under the influence of Melissa, a weather system that's ushering in a spell of classic autumnal conditions. The tone is set for a period that's not just mild, but also notably wet and blustery, with the kind of unsettled weather that's become a hallmark of the British Isles at this time of year. Persistent low-pressure systems are dominating the scene, ensuring that temperatures remain above the seasonal average. Thanks to a steady southwesterly airflow, colder Arctic air is kept at bay, so there's little chance of an early winter chill. Instead, the air feels unseasonably warm for November, with daytime highs often several degrees above what we typically expect. With this mild air comes a significant increase in rainfall. The western parts of the UK, especially exposed hills and coastal areas, will bear the brunt of the heaviest downpours. Eastern regions, while not as wet, will still see plenty of damp, overcast days, with persistent drizzle and gray skies dominating the outlook. A powerful jet stream is driving this pattern, acting like a conveyor belt for Atlantic storms. These fast-moving winds, high in the atmosphere, are steering one weather system after another directly towards the UK, making for a relentless sequence of wet and windy days. This marks a dramatic shift from the settled, high-pressure conditions that brought drier and sunnier weather earlier in the year. The contrast is striking, as the landscape transitions from parched fields and blue skies to saturated ground and stormy horizons. For those hoping for crisp, golden autumn days, this week will come as a disappointment. Instead of clear skies and cool, refreshing air, the UK will experience the full force of Atlantic-driven weather, damp, dynamic, and persistently mild. Expect umbrellas to be a daily necessity and for outdoor plans to be frequently disrupted by sudden showers and gusty winds. In summary, the first week of November will be defined by relentless rain, gusty winds, and above-average temperatures, a true test of the British spirit as autumn's wild side takes center stage. The unsettled weather won't end with Melissa. Atlantic low pressure will dominate through mid-November. The jet stream remains strong, steering storm after storm toward the UK. Rain and wind will persist, with only brief, brighter breaks between systems. Temperatures stay above average, but hints of a cooler spell may emerge around mid-month. Flood risks will rise as the ground becomes saturated, especially in the west. The focus shifts from single storms to the cumulative impact of persistent wet and windy conditions. The UK must manage this Atlantic barrage while waiting for a possible pattern change later in the month. By mid-November, forecast models hint at a significant shift as high pressure may build over Scandinavia or the UK. This would block Atlantic storms, ending the mild, wet pattern and introducing drier, colder air from the east. Winds could turn easterly, bringing chillier, more settled conditions, and halting the persistent rain. Daytime temperatures would drop, and frosty nights could return under clearer skies. The transition would mark a dramatic change from the stormy start to the month. While uncertainty remains, the consensus is growing for a colder, calmer second half of November. The UK could soon trade Atlantic gales for continental chill. As we look ahead to the final weeks of November, weather models are beginning to paint a fascinating picture for the UK and surrounding regions. There are growing indications that a significant area of high pressure could build and shift its center toward Iceland, a classic setup that often signals a change in the weather pattern for Northern Europe. This high pressure would act as a barrier, effectively blocking the usual flow of milder, moist Atlantic air from reaching the UK. Instead, it would open the door for cold, dry, easterly winds to sweep in from the continent, bringing a noticeable chill to the air and a distinct shift in the weather. Under this setup, the UK could experience a classic cold spell, biting easterly winds, temperatures dipping below seasonal averages, and a general feeling of winter's early arrival. These winds can make it feel even colder than the thermometer suggests, especially along exposed eastern coasts and higher ground. With this colder air in place, the risk of overnight frost increases, especially in rural areas and sheltered valleys. Wintry showers could develop particularly in eastern and northern parts of the country, bringing sleet or even some early snow to higher ground. Mornings may start with a sparkling layer of frost, and fog could linger well into the day. Alternatively, if the high pressure settles directly over the UK, the weather story changes. Instead of biting winds, we'd see calm, settled conditions. Dry days, light winds, and often widespread fog, especially in the mornings. These foggy spells can be slow to clear, keeping temperatures low and creating a classic late autumn atmosphere. At this stage, forecasts remain uncertain, and the exact position of the high pressure will be crucial in determining the UK's weather. However, the signal for a colder, blocked pattern is growing stronger, suggesting that a significant change is on the horizon. November 2025 could end up being a month of two distinct halves, the first, dominated by stormy, mild and unsettled conditions, and the second, marked by a transition to colder, calmer and more settled weather. This dramatic shift would be visible in the changing skies, from turbulent, rain-lashed days to tranquil, frosty mornings and still foggy afternoons. The contrast between the two halves of the month could be striking, offering a real taste of the variety that British weather is known for. The legacy of Hurricane Melissa, which brought unsettled and stormy conditions earlier in the month, will gradually fade. In its place, we'll see the first real hints of winter as the atmosphere settles and temperatures drop. This transition promises a dynamic weather journey, with the UK moving from the remnants of tropical storms to the first frosts and the possibility of wintry showers. It's a reminder of how quickly the weather can change at this time of year, from the fury of Caribbean hurricanes to the potential for a wintry blast closer to home. November's weather story is shaping up to be one of contrasts and surprises. As we move through the month, keep an eye on the forecasts. November's unfolding story is one to watch, and it may just bring the first real taste of winter to the UK.